Ah! Shiver me pajama pants timbers! There's Landaho! Hey everybody, Tekking101 here, and this will be a new series for Geography is Everything, where we take a look at the 7 seas of the One Piece world, me hearties. Even though there aren't actual 7 seas in the One Piece world, there's actually only 4. Well, no, actually there's 6 if we include both halves of the Grand Line, Paradise and the New World. And actually, if you want to get really technical, there's the calm belt that's on either side of both halves, so that would make 10 seas, I guess? Then there's the All Blue, which might not even exist, or rather it might have yet to be created, so I don't know, that's 11 seas? Whatever. We're talking about the 4 blues in this series, okay? Where we're taking a gander at the East Blue, the West Blue, the North Blue, and yes, even the South Blue. Stuff I have to put up with sometimes. Anyway, it doesn't matter though. We're starting with the West Blue, and if you're curious on how I decided the order, which one I was going to do first, I know with the My Hero Academia discussions, we rolled a d20. This time I did something a little bit different. Oh, Magic 8-Ball, I beseech your amazing clairvoyant powers. Should I start off this discussion video with the West Blue? Okay. Right, so how this is going to work is quite simple. For each one of these videos, we're going to discuss that particular sea, any major characters that come from there, and any locales that we know about. Oda is not really specific when it comes to locations outside of the Grand Line, so, we know about a few islands in the blues. Obviously, the East Blue is the one that's the most fleshed out because that was an entire saga. The opening of One Piece took place in the East, but when it comes to the other ones, I mean, we know about other islands in the West and the North and the South. It's just, we don't focus on them that much because the bulk of the story takes place on the Grand Line. But the first thing we're going to be covering for each one of these videos is that if there are any Straw Hats that come from the West, we'll be tackling those characters first. So in this case, coming from the West Blue, we have Nico Robin. I finally got her pop figure. And then we have Brook, who also comes from the West, from days long past. So, since I've already kind of discussed both of their characters in the Straw Hat discussion series, this is going to be more about the geography of the West and the islands that they come from, but I'll obviously have to be discussing a little bit about their characters. So, let's just start off with Robin. That's a good idea, right? Robin? Yeah, everyone's okay with that? Starting off with Robin? You're good at that, right? Okay, good. Let's do that. So, Nico Robin, of course, comes from the island of Ohara, which is located somewhere in the West. Don't expect me to give you specific locations for them, like Latin Lounge or something. Like, this island is particularly closer to the Grand Line, or this island is close to the Red Line, because, yeah, we don't get those. In the East, we do. Like, the Baratier is located kind of close to the Grand Line. Logtown is located right next to the Red Line, but for most other locations, we have no idea where they're at. The best that we can kind of go on here is that the 4 blues are not subject to the crazy weather patterns as they are on the Grand Line. So on the Grand Line, you could be sailing around and see a tropical island, and then the very next island could be a frigid blizzard hellstorm, you know what I mean? So that's like different weather patterns for different islands. In the 4 blues, it works more like in our world. So the more south or north you get, you're eventually going to get to the Arctic, and it's going to be very cold. And then the closer you get to the Grand Line or the equator, it's going to get a little bit more tropical. So all I can say is that the place that Robin is from, Ohara, seems to be pretty temperate, pretty warm, so it might be closer to the equator, might be closer to the Grand Line. The West Blue borders the, southern part of the New World, so, it might be a little bit dangerous there, but you also have to keep in mind, this was a location that the world government visited, so it might be relatively close to Marijois. We're not exactly sure on that. Now, Ohara is interesting because it's actually home to the oldest thing that has ever been mentioned in the One Piece world, and no, it's not Dr. Kureha, you goofy goobers. It's, of course, the Tree of Knowledge, which is 5,000 years old. That is the oldest thing in One Piece that we've been told about. It's going as far back as we could go. Usually we get caught up with the Void Century just being 900 years back, but yeah, 5,000 years, that's pretty impressive. And at least, that's what Oda tells us. I guess the planting of the tree was 5,000 years ago, back when it was just a sapling of stupidity. Had to eventually grow into into a tree of knowledge. It took a while. But yeah, it also doubles as a library. The tree has kind of been hollowed out to the point where people can go in there and they have this massive library where they have all the books, and the people of Ohara, the scholars there, tried to gather as much knowledge as possible. Now, not every single person on Ohara was a scholar. There were plenty of people like Nico Robin's aunt and uncle that were raising her, as well as their bratty child, who I guess would have been Robin's cousin. You know, they weren't scholars or anything. They were just living on the island, just a normal life, really. The scholars, though, were the draw. They were like the prize of the island. It was an island known for its massive amount of knowledge and recorded history. And I'm also sure that plenty of those books in that library had all you had to know about geography. So, you know, Professor Clover and Robin, you know, they're people that definitely understand that geography is everything. Hence why Robin is one of my favorite characters. You know, she's my favorite female, obviously, right? She gets it. She gets it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so what's going on with Ohara right now? Sad. Very, very sad. Well, how's Robin feel about that? Also extraordinarily sad. Okay. Oh, chibi Robin is crying. But hey, guys, it's not all bad. I mean, look, she activated the Rinnegan in the process. So, hey, she has the power to summon giant round objects in the sky. Robin solos Akainu. That's the moral of this story. Oh, yeah, so Ohara's not around anymore, mostly because of the old Buster Call, beep, boom. You know, the closest thing you're gonna get to a nuclear bomb in the One Piece world, you know, just like, let's take a bunch of, you know, battleships, circle the island, bombard it for about an hour or two, and call it a day. How about that, Admiral Akainu? Actually, no, back then he was just Vice Admiral Akainu, or Vice Admiral Sakazuki. You don't get your epithet until you actually achieve that rank of Admiral. I wonder if you get to choose your own epithet, or if it's just something that gets assigned to you. Weird. Anyway, yeah, so Ohara's not around anymore. Nico Robin did state later on that 5 years before the storyline began, so that's 5 years before, you know, Luffy's introduction and everything, so that'd be 7 years before the time skip, that's when Robin finally left the West Blue and arrived in the Grand Line. This could have been when she left to go join up with Baroque Works and Crocodile, or this could have been for something else. Robin was on the run for a very long time when she was growing up, and actually, when she left Ohara, she actually landed at an island that was like, you know, close enough to it because how Aokiji allowed her to escape with the ice trail and that little rowboat. So there was an island not very far from Ohara that she landed at, and people spotted her at that island, and that's how they knew she was still alive. There's a devil child from Ohara that made it out, and that's how she got assigned the bounty of 79 million berries for only an 8-year-old child. Very impressive. So she couldn't stay on that island for very long, so she was probably just hopping around the West Blue as much as she could. Honestly, just taking whatever she could. I mean, if somebody says, hey, girl, I'll let you sleep in my house if you chop my wood. He's like, okay, well, I guess I gotta do that. Something else about the West we find out later is that there's actually a really big crime problem, because we find out that there are 5 great mafia families that essentially run the entire sea. Bege being part of one of those crime families, and he kind of rose to prominence out of all of them, got bored with his life as the father of, like, it's like, I'm the king of the West Blue, but maybe he felt like more of like a, you know, a big fish in a tiny pond sort of thing. Like, yeah, I rule over the West Blue with an iron fist. I have all the money and all the men I could ask for. It's kind of, you know, not that impressive when I know the world is so much bigger out there. Screw it, men. We're going to the Grand Line. I guess we'll try to make King of the Pirates my new dream or whatever. So if you figure that not just the crime family that Bege was part of, we don't actually find out the name of his crime family. I mean, it might have been just the Bege family, or it could have been the the fire tank gang or whatever, because that's the name of his crew, the fire tank pirates. I don't know. But the point is, if there were other crime families in the West, Robin might have been involved with one of them at some point. In fact, I think we even see that in her past when she was 16 years old. She approaches it could have been a pirate captain, it could have been a member of the mafia or whatever. She's like, hey, I'm 16, I'll do whatever you want me to do to work for your organization or whatever. And the whole thing is that she's cursed. So every organization she becomes part of gets dismantled at some point. And that's actually been true for not just every organization she was part of when she was running, but that's also true for Baroque Works, and that's technically also true for the Straw Hats, because they also got separated at Sabaody, but they got back together. together, so the curse gets broken, but still technically true. So yeah, oh, Robin was part of the Revolutionaries for a little while there too. Hope that doesn't carry over. Anyway, so yeah, I could see that though. I could totally see it. Robin's on the run from, the law, from the world government trying to chase her down, and then she eventually runs into one of these crime families, and she's like, "Hey, I got a devil fruit power. I'm pretty good at thieving, and rub-outs are my specialty," according to the 4Kids dub. Anyway, look it up. Yeah, so I'll join your organization, and some of those organizations might have had her for longer. Others might have come under attack by the world government, because once you find out you're harboring Nico Robin, they come down on you with a hellstorm. In fact, I even think in Robin's backstory, there was one person she was joining up with, and the person was like, "I don't care who you are, join my crew or be part of our organization and you'll be fine." And then the world government comes attacking them. It's like, "Oh, damn it, girl, get the hell out of my crew." So yeah, Robin didn't have a very easy life. Brook didn't either. So Brook actually came from an unknown kingdom in the West. We don't know what the name of the kingdom was, but we do know Brook used to be the leader of a battle convoy for said kingdom. So not really a pirate yet, but his duty would have been like, oh, we have the Navy, not the Navy like the Marines, but like a private Navy for this kingdom that this king rules over. And maybe if the king was like, "Hey, we need to transport goods to another island," maybe Brook would have been like the guard for that. Like, here's the merchant ship, and also the battle convoy maybe would surround the ship to protect it from enemy attack or pirates, or if there was ever an invasion. We don't know what kingdom he was part of, but if the king was like, "We need to expand," Brook probably would have been the leader of that. Like, "All right, let's go and, take over this other island, yo ho ho, that's what we do," right? Eventually he became a member of the Rumbar pirates. Don't know exactly the story there, how he transitioned from one to another. Yorkie was his captain, so Yorkie is also from the West Blue. Was Yorkie a member of the same kingdom Brook was from? Very likely, maybe. It's possible. Hey, other story, maybe Brook was out doing the battle convoy thing, and maybe in the middle of defending like his ships against Yorkie's ships, maybe he found out the king he was working for was corrupt or something. And, my mind immediately goes to Avallo Pizarro, the corrupt king, but he's actually not I believe he's from the north. He's not from the west. But maybe he found out, like, oh, the cargo we're transporting is, like, illegal arms or dynamite, or it was, like, something for, meant that's dastardly or something. And he's like, "You know what? I don't like this. Screw it. I'm just committing treason. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with Yorkie and his crew." We don't exactly know how it worked. Best case scenario, Yorkie was from the same kingdom. Brook just joined up with him. Worst case, Brook betrayed his previous, dedication to his kingdom or loyalties and then went with Yorkie. Take it whatever you will. Laboon is also from the west, the tiny little island whale that got separated from its pod and just kind of started following around the Rumbar pirate's ship, and everyone was really happy, singing along, having a good time, and they thought about, hey, let's head to the Grand Line. That should be jolly old fun. They tried to leave Laboon behind in the west, but, he's a scrappy little whale, so he somehow managed to, ascend Reverse Mountain and fall down to the other side, so hey, and that whale's pretty tough. The whole reason you didn't want to bring him was because, there's a lot of dangers in the Grand Line. And the whale managed to swim all the way up Reverse Mountain and down, and he wasn't that big at that age, so, yeah, maybe you could have brought him along and we just could have avoided all of this. Maybe he could have saved you from the pirates that poisoned you. Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. It's probably a good thing you left him behind at the Twin Capes there, right? Going along with Brook's story, the island thriller bark that Moria ruled over was from the west. Still have absolutely no idea how that happened. Let's bring this up. Let's think about this logically, all right? I've brought this up before, and I know many of you might be tired of hearing this, but if you've never heard me rant about this, I am just flabbergasted how you managed to get the freaking island of Thriller Bark. We don't know if it was originally called Thriller Bark. It was probably called something else when it was in the West Blue. First off, how do you turn an island into a pirate ship? Can someone just answer that question for me? Comment it below. I was like, well, Tekking, clearly you didn't take shipbuilding 101 in college. Allow me to tell you really quick. Here's how you turn an island into a pirate ship. It's not that hard. All you gotta do is slam giant masts into the island and some sails, and the island just floats away. It's not hard. But then, that's not even the hard part. That's something I could just, okay, fine, whatever. Okay, it's manga, okay. But the way that Oda sets up the world of One Piece, how are you going to get it into the Grand Line? How are you not even going to get it into the New World because the West Blue borders the New World? If you were going to sail Thriller Bark directly into the New World, that would have been hard enough, but I could at least believe it. But he didn't. And then this is where it eventually ended up. So he either had to, take it into the New World, which that is possible because we do know Moria did go to the New World at one point and he did fight Kaido. So I guess he took Thriller Bark from the West into the New World, got the shit kicked out of him by Kaido, then retreated, I guess, through Fishman Island. Oh man, that must have cost a fortune to get Thriller Bark coated. Coat the entire ship, go under the ocean. A Fishman Island's bigger than Thriller Bark, so I'm assuming it could fit underneath that cave, but then get up to the surface and then just park it right in the Florian Triangle. That's the only way I could possibly see it going down, but, yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. The coding, how it managed to survive that trip relatively unscathed, and apparently Moria has another ship right now in the manga that he docked at Blackbeard's Island that looks remarkably like Thriller Bark. Probably not the same ship, but yeah, it's confusing. Unless you get some sort of flying apparatus hooked up to that thing, I don't know. But yeah, Thriller Bark did originate from the West, which, hey, if that's the case, maybe Moria or Hogback or, I don't think Hogback, because Hogback joined up later. Moria had Perona and Absalom in his group before he recruited Hogback. Hogback was like the last person he recruited in the Mysterious Four. So Moria might have actually come originally from the West. We just don't know that for certain yet. But yeah, that's the situation there with Brook as well as with Robin and Bege as well. Let's talk a little bit about Bege. Kind of already brought it up. But yeah, Bege just kind of started off as just a low-ranking mafioso, after a lot of backstabbing and backshooting and just general backstabbery and backshootery. He managed to climb his way up to the top of his own crime family and then I don't think he took out all the other crime families, but it was like he was the big boss. He was the one that was the strongest, and so all the other crime families kind of begrudgingly wanted to get rid of him. And so even after he started the Fire Tank Pirates and sailed into the Grand Line, there are still people that are part of those other crime families that followed him, that want him dead. So maybe that might come up later next time we see Bege. We just had an entire arc focusing a lot on Bege and his crew, so we're probably not going to get to see a lot of him in upcoming arcs. Obviously Oda probably wants to focus on some other characters, but yeah, that's the situation there with Bege. Now, on to Shanks. Shanks comes from the West. Shanks is a big drinker. We have some sake here. He provided some nice little home-brewed sake, I guess some craft brew thing he got from his hometown, and he provided it to Whitebeard, offered it to him, and Whitebeard thought he's like, sake from West Blue, huh? You're a freaking cheapskate. And Shanks is like, come on, Whitebeard, have a shot. It's a specialty. It's a hometown thing. And he's like, all right. And he had some, he's like, yeah, it's not bad. Not bad sake. So apparently wherever island Shanks comes from makes a damn good bottle of sake. Funny story. I actually bought this for Zoro's video I filmed back in April of 2017. Still haven't opened it yet. I don't drink. Don't even know if it would be safe to drink it. Fuki Sake is produced by cold fermentation and made solely from sun-nurtured rice and spring water. We remove the rice's outer husk or polish it so that Whitebeard can enjoy the most crisp flavor of the West Blue. Product of Shanks Island. Okay, cool. They just renamed it Shanks' Island. Actually, that's probably a smart move because when a member of your island becomes a Yonko, just be like, you know what? We're renaming it just Shanks' Island. Our motto, ain't nobody gonna with this. Ain't nobody gonna even go within 5 miles of that if you're a pirate. It's not even close. Everybody there can live perfectly peacefully and happy because no matter where Shanks is at in the world, if anybody lands on his home island and starts starting shit, he is gonna be there. He'll find a way. He'll teleport. He'll get there, and you don't want that, right? So, yeah. Shanks is from there. Not much else we really know about where he's from, though. We don't know anything about his island. Somebody else that's well-known kind of far throughout the West Blue as a notable bounty hunter before he joined up with Crocodile and Baroque Works was Daz Bones, who would later become Mr. One. So, Daz Bones Bones, very well-known bounty hunter, probably had the Super Nomi even before he teamed up with Crocodile, because he's like the most famous one in the entire sea. So yeah, I could see Daz Bones kind of going around. He somehow ate the Super Nomi. Funny thing is that his dream is that his like deepest desire, Mr. One. Do you know what it is? What he wants to do? Like if he was gonna have any wish in his life. He wants to be a superhero. We find this out in Mrs. Golden Week's Operation Meet Baroque, where she has a rainbow thing which she does with her colors, and everybody that it touches, they get like a costume that reflects their deepest desire and their wish, like what they want to be in their life. So when she uses it on Crocodile, he has like a Pirate King outfit. Like he gets a fancy bicorn and a cloak, and he's like, what the hell's this? Mr. 5 wants to become a firefighter. I can see a few problems with that. Mr. 4 wants to become a pizza delivery guy, which, you know, that makes me feel kind of bad for Mr. 4, because Mr. 4 is just this simpleton. He's just this big kind of lumbering oaf that's like, hi, everybody, I'm Mr. 4. You know, he just got rounded into working for Baroque Works. All the dude wants to do is be a pizza delivery boy for Domino's. Just let him live out his dream, you know? Mrs. Merry Christmas wants to be a fairy princess. Mrs. Valentine wants to be a chocolate girl because she's usually dressed with the lemon outfit, so she's a lemon girl, but, you know, that obviously lemons are very sour, chocolate is sweet. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense, because, like, okay, you want to be a chocolate girl? Then just change your outfit and have more of a chocolate motif. There you go. But yeah, what Mr. 1 wanted to be when they used this on him is he grows he has like a cape and a mask, and he's like a superhero. And he's very stoic, so he doesn't show his emotions, but you could see like his little emoji expression. He's like super happy. He's like, my childhood dream has become a reality. Hey, but Mr. 1, dude, you could make that work. You got the powers of a devil fruit already. Your devil fruit is the Super Nomi. It's the Blade fruit. Literally, get yourself a really cool costume, go to Edna Mode, or freaking Hatsumi, I don't know, go to somebody, have them make a costume for you. I could see that. Freaking little slits for your blades to pop out. Maybe not the outfit you actually get like this. Get like a, I don't know, get a bunch of like buzzsaw, like shoulder guards or something, like Blade Man from Mega Man or some shit. You could make this work, dude. But yeah, so hey, maybe we haven't seen Mr. 1 since the time skip. Maybe he does have. He's like, you know what, Crocodile, I'll follow you into the new world. And in Crocodile, Mr. 0 is just like, Mr. 1, we will conquer the new world. Mr. 1's like, yes, but I do have one request. He's like, what's that? He just points to like a tailor, and he's like, can I get my superhero outfit? Fine, whatever. We're making our own journeys up as we go. And we turn around, he has a cape. He's like, yeah, damn straight. I have a cape. So, yeah. Who else? Who else is from the West? Oh, the Cano Kingdom. Yeah, of course. How could I forget about the Cano Kingdom? We got the Hoppo Navy, which features Don Chinjiao, the 12th leader of it, Sai, or Don Sai, who is the current 13th leader of the Hoppo Navy, and Boo, who's just there. We also have the king, or the Viceroy, the Emperor of the Cano Kingdom. It sort of has like a Chinese aesthetic to it, so I'm gonna go with Emperor. We don't know his name, but this is what he looks like. Kind of like honestly, kind of looks like a Weasley, like a advisor for the Emperor. Doesn't really look like the Emperor to me, but okay. And then of course we have Don Sai's lovely wife, their newlyweds, Mrs. Bebe 5, who is also now part of the kingdom as well. So, yeah, Don Sai's actually at Reverie right now because of that whole thing. I don't think Baby 5 went with him though. So yeah, the Cano Kingdom's located there. They're part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. They'll definitely come to Luffy's aid at some point in the future when they require their assistance. But yeah, that's where Sai and the group hail from. Beyond that, I really don't think of anybody else. I did forget to mention Nico Robin's mother, Nico Olvia. So, yeah, she comes from there as well. A little bit of a mysterious past with Olvia. I might just make a whole video on her, because here's the thing. I'm okay with not knowing every single Straw Hat's parents. I'm okay with that. Like, we're never probably going to find out about Frankie's biological parents, or Nami's biological parents, or Brook's biological parents. They're long dead. And also, hey, Brook's kingdom might not even be still there. It might be gone after 50 years, you know, after Brook was spent in the Florian Triangle. But I'm going to say this. When you're going to go out of your way to introduce the biological parent of, or one of the biological parents of the Straw Hat, you need to at least expand upon the other. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to even go there to begin with, you need to finish what you started. Okay, so with Luffy, we've been introduced to his dad, Dragon. We definitely have to find out about Luffy's mom at some point. I think that's a given just because Luffy's the freaking main character. We kind of have to see what his birth, like the circumstances around his birth at some point, you know? We found that out about Ace, so we got to find that out about Luffy as well. With the situation with Nami, Bellemere was just her adopted mom, so that's fine, obviously. Usopp, we know about both his mother, Banshina, and his dad, Yasop. He'll make an appearance at some point. Chopper's parents were deer. It doesn't really count. You know, we don't have to worry too much about that. But when it comes to Robin, we did find out her biological mother, so her biological dad is still out there somewhere. No idea who it might be. Some people have thrown out the idea it might be, it might have been Roger. I mean, just in terms of the time frame, it all syncs up rather well. Olvia had white hair. Robin has black hair. And she was born around, 30-something years ago, so Roger was still around. Nico Olvia does seem like Roger's type to me. I don't know, and it's like, here's the thing. Rouge might have been Roger's, like, one true love, but you understand, after Roger's death, they sent an entire, like, Navy death squad out to find every pregnant woman in the area where Roger was at and took them out. So, it was probably established Roger was a playa before he met Rouge. He was a pirate, after all. So, I could see, him hanging out, maybe not in the traditional kind of like, take it whatever you want kind of pirate, but I could see Roger chilling out on an island in a bar one night, getting freaking wasted, and he's like, hey, oh, lady, how are you? I'm the king of the pirates. We should have a night together. And then he goes off and then they have a thing. But Olvia, I mean, hey, she was an archaeologist. She was interested in the Void Century, which might eventually, and Roger found out about it. Roger knew, Rayleigh knew. So I could see those two meeting up at some point, and we could eventually find out that Robin is Roger's daughter. I'd be cool with that. I know it'd be kind of a thing. Like, it was like, whoa, that's kind of Ace's thing already. It's like, yeah, but Roger was a playa, so, we can see where it goes. What do you think about that? Leave a comment below. But anyway, and there's other people that have also thrown out, wait, well, what about, Dragon? People have also said Dragon might be, Robin's father, which in that case, that means Luffy and Robin would be sister and brother. You know what? I really wouldn't be that upset by that as well. Maybe you would be. I could see you being more upset about that, but it'd be a little weird. But it's possible. It's possible. We just found out Dragon's age. Dragon's 55, so 30-something years ago. I think it was like 30 years ago when Robin was born. I think she's 30 years old exactly. She might be a little older than that, but I think she's 30. So if that's the case, then yeah, Dragon would have been 25. So syncs up to me. Syncs up to me. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and we're going to journey to the next lands of pirates. We should find out what I'm doing next. Okay, Magic 8-Ball, take it away. Next video will be the North Blue? My reply is no. Okay. Is the next video going to be the East Blue? Freaking hate the South. My reply is no. Okay, I guess we're doing the South Blue next. 8-Ball. Ugh.